Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Borossy. Today's video was supposed to be a vlog. I had every intention in the world to record when I went to my doctor's appointment today. I had my blood taken, as you guys can see. I also had a neurophysiologic test this morning, and I thought I knew what I was going in for. I thought it was the same kind of test that I have done previously, where they put a lot of like electrodes, I don't know how to say, on your scalp, and as well other parts of your body, and they shoot like electricity up your feet to measure if the nervous system is like sending signals as it should. I don't know how to explain it in technical terms, but I thought that was what I was going in for this morning. And it turned out that it had to do with like electricity. But the way it was done was different to what I was expecting. So I had a little bit of a traumatic experience. I have quite a lot of like medical trauma from for many reasons, but one being when I was being diagnosed for MS. Like when I was going through all of those tests, I first of all had no idea I was being tested for MS, but when I did my lumbar puncture, my spinal tap that is, I had a really traumatic experience and I had a really bad reaction, and anything to do with needles on my back freaks me out now, obviously. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have blogs about that. You can go back in my MS playlist and have a look. But like, I was hospitalized due to complications. It was really bad. So when she started cleaning off my like lower back and taking out needles and stuff, I just went into panic mode, and I was like, what's going on? What are you gonna do? You have to explain this to me. Like, you can't just do, you have to like explain to me what you're about to do and how it's gonna be, because if not, I'm just gonna not be able to go through with the test. And she was a little bit like, well, if you don't want to do the test, you don't have to. And I'm like, no, I want to do it. I just need you to explain to me in a calm manner what you're about to do. And by that point, she had already put 2 needles in my scalp. So I was already freaking out. So they put 2 yay big needles under my skin, like in this part of my head. So I had 1 and 2. And they had like wires going to the machine. And then I had 2 more needles in the lower region of my back. So if this is my back, they don't go in like this, like the spinal tapping. It won't mess with the actual spine. It went under the skin that way. So it wasn't that bad, but it was scary enough for me, you know. And then they had to put 2 needles in each like on the back side of my knee. So I had 2 needles in either leg. And then they took like the electricity bits on like where you have your Achilles heel. And they can like monitor the level of how much electricity they send through. And she said to me, she started on my right side and then she did my left side, and she asked me, is this painful to you? Can I increase the level or not? Or like, she was very communicative when she was doing that, and she was very friendly and informative, but you know, there's always something that's gonna go wrong. So the nurse was maybe new at her job, or she wasn't very sure how to behave. I could tell that she was really trying her best. I felt like she was struggling from the moment I came in. I asked her one question and that threw her off. And she was like, I think it's better if you wait until the doctor comes in and she can tell you the answer. Like she was so afraid to do something wrong. I felt like that made her unable to do her job well. And I think maybe she was a little bit intimidated or afraid. I don't know. This was not like a young, new intern or something. Like, this was a mature lady, like a woman, want to say in her 40s, like she probably worked a while in the hospital, but doing this, I felt like she was new. And because she was so insecure, and because she was like doing things, and I don't want to say too fast, but like she was trying her best, but she was nervous and she was struggling, to the point where she would move the machine that I was connected to, and she would yank out my needles that I had in my head and in my legs. So she nearly tore these ones out. I actually got a hold of the cords before they went out, but I could feel it tugging, and I'm getting nauseous thinking of that, because I have this feeling still that like I feel nauseous, and this is very sore to the touch. And then she completely yanked out the needles from my left leg, so the doctor had to replace the needle, and she was apologizing to me, and she was like, I'm so sorry, I'm just gonna do this again. And you know, she told me in advance that it was gonna be uncomfortable in the legs. So that was just unfortunate, but because I'm completely numb in various parts of my body, it wasn't that bad. When it came to the legs, it was like, you know, uncomfortable, but it wasn't that painful. Like the head, I feel more sore in the head, and the back, it was uncomfortable more than painful. And then she started the electricity in my right leg and then my right foot, and she asked me if I could feel it only in the leg or if I could feel it in the foot too, and I said I can feel it in the foot too, but you know. And she was like, is it painful? I said it's more uncomfortable than painful. I can stand it. And she said, can I like intensify it one more level? And I said, you can try, and she did, and I said, okay, I can like soportarlo. I can manage to be in this with this level of pain for a while, so yes, you can do it like this. And she was like, okay. So she checked the right leg, and then when we were done, she switched for the left one, and I could not feel the electricity going in, like my foot. She was like, you don't have much feeling in your foot, do you? And I said, no. And she asked me if when I'm standing or when I'm walking, if I can feel the floor underneath, and I said, nope, I cannot. And she said, do you have a lot of instability? I said, yes, of course, yeah. And she said, yeah, I can tell that you have no feeling in your feet, and I can tell by the test that your right side, like from her point of view, like the right side of my body is more affected than the left one. Doesn't mean I have less symptoms on the left, but from what she can see, like on the monitor, I assume that she can see the signals being sent from, like, you know, through my, you know, brain and spinal cord and all of that to my legs. And she said that signals from what she could see in the back, she said that's good or okay, but she could tell from like my lower back down to my legs, the signal is not as good as it should be, and it's worse on my right side than in the left side. And she said she made a parallel to when you have diabetes or diabetes, and I didn't get that parable because I'm not very like familiar with what happens to your body when you have diabetes. But I asked her, so is this due to my illness, like multiple sclerosis? And she said, yes, it's because of the demyelination. And she says that, you know, it's visible for her. And she says, because you're so young, I would really look into finding an MS specialist and not just a neurologist. And I felt almost like I wanted to laugh, because I have said this whole time that I want to see another neurologist that maybe is a little bit more knowledgeable about multiple sclerosis, but unfortunately where I live I don't have a lot of options and I can't really travel. So if I were to change completely, like hospital and and neurologist, that would be quite difficult for me. But she just said, like, if I could give you one advice, and she looked at me deep in my eyes, and she was like, if I were you, I would move to wherever I had to move to find the right, like, she wanted me to take seriously my illness, I think, and I feel almost like more frustrated than anything else, because MS have no cure. So, and I have the best drugs on the market, and I have, you know, some symptom management, like with the Vampira and such, but even if I were to go to a place where my neurologist is specializing in MS, what else could they give me? I don't know, because there is no cure. So what other option would that be? Like, I don't know, and it made me confused, and I feel like it was not a very helpful thing to say, although I appreciated her taking the time to wanting to, like, you know, really connect with me and give me her advice and all of that. But it left me very deflated. That almost like I should be doing more, but even if I did, like, what would be the difference? I would still have MS. I would still have, like, no real answers and cures. Like, I don't know. No, I just feel I have a huge headache, I feel nauseous, I have no energy, I'm so tired and upset. I feel like all my medical trauma just gets triggered every time I have to go and do one of these things. I just want to crawl back in bed and forget that I have MS. That's what I want to do. I know I'm being a little bit like self-destructive maybe with that thinking, but it's just how I feel today. And speaking a lot to my sister after the appointment, I feel like she could give me some clarity in some of the things that I'm going through, and the fact that I'm dealing with so many other bits too that haven't been diagnosed yet. I told her about the blood test I did this morning, that it's from the rheumatology department that they have sent me, and she's like, are you being tested for rheumatology when we know that you have EDS? She was like, you have EDS, you have mast cell, blah 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 blah, something something condition, and you have MS. That's, she basically diagnosed me. She has EDS herself, and she says, even my doctors have already given you the diagnosis of EDS based off what I have told them. And I was like, okay. And it's interesting because I think, I don't know, like I just feel like I'm more confused than before. I just feel like nothing that I'm finding out about myself and my condition has a cure or a solution to it. So on a bad day, or like on a day like now when I feel deflated, I feel like, oh, it's better not knowing. I just want to ignore everything that's going on, go back to my bubble, stay in my house, do nothing. And then there is this other part of me that's saying, oh, you need to know everything there is to know about your conditions so you can know how to best manage your situation and symptoms and all of that. And that's the logic thing to do. And not just stick my head in the sand. But this is an honest update. This is how I'm feeling today. And I know that you guys will understand, and I know that you are going through the same things. Even if we don't have the exact same conditions, we still have, like, I think it's a human reaction to when things like this happens to us. And yeah, I wish I could leave you with like some profound encouragement, but today I'm just feeling like I have no answers. I feel like I am banging my head against the wall. I feel like no matter where I look to, I don't seem to find the answers that I need. I'm a little bit... I'm not gonna say what I was thinking there, but F everything. I just feel... I think I feel angry today. Or I think I feel like it's just not fair. You know? It's just not fair. And it's not fair. It's not fair that I have to deal with this. And it's not fair that you have to deal with whatever it is that you are dealing with. It's not fair. But life isn't fair. We just need to move on and do the best of whatever situation we have. And I'm normally quite good at that. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have a poor me rest of the day, and tomorrow I'm gonna wake up hopefully with some more motivation than I'm feeling currently. I'm gonna get back at it. And I don't give up. I never give up, and I will never give up. But today it sucks, and today that's what I'm feeling. Today it sucks to have MS. And it sucks to have to go to the hospital when you know that every time they do something to you is painful and scary and no good results. So it's not so easy to motivate yourself to go there. Next appointment I have is with my neurologist, and he will be able to give me the results of today's test, but I don't think he will be telling me much more than she is. Maybe he will be able to tell me like if I'm in a different phase of my disease. Maybe he will be able to tell me if I'm relapsing, remitting, or if I've moved over to like secondary progressive. That would be interesting to know. I'm interested in hearing what conclusions he will take from the information of today's test. What else? And after that I have my rheumatology appointment to get some answers from the blood test and things. Have some other exciting bits going on behind the scenes. I was contacted by a company, I won't tell you which one yet. We are still talking back and forth, like if we can do a collaboration. But it's very interesting, and if that happens I will obviously tell you guys about it. Don't think that collaboration will be visible on my channel though. I might just sit down and do this kind of video and tell you about them, like from my point of view and my experience, but the collaboration itself will be something that they will have for like their internal use in their company. But if it's what I think it is, then the product or the service that it refers to would be potentially something that could interest you. So I'm gonna see if I can get maybe some discounts and stuff, because I think it could be a game changer for people like me that need answers and not necessarily know how and where to turn. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it at that, but thank you so much for watching today's video, friends. I love you so much and I wish you all the best, and thank you for all your birthday wishes and for your emails and private messages, and I have read every single one. And there is a very special lady out there who is living not too far away from me, and she sent me this really touching email. It's quite a long email, and I'm taking my time with it before I answer, because I want to get it right. And if she's watching, just know that I've read it. I have a fly. I've read it, I appreciated every single word, and I will be getting back to you. But yeah, sending you so much love and strength, and go join my Spoonie Friends group. We are, I think, 10 members at the moment, so it would be lovely if more of you wanted to join. But I'm gonna be filming a video exclusively for them soon, so looking forward to that. Have a good day, friends. Much love. Bye.